Hi guys, my name is Janaea. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I just wanted to share a few experiences that I've had with having psychic dreams. So the first experience that I'm going to share is something that happened a few months ago. And I'm sharing this one first because it actually gave me some insight as to how these dreams work specifically for me. I don't know how they are for anybody else, but I can only speak for myself. So, in this dream, it was actually a dream that I had in the morning right before I woke up. So, the part of this dream that stood out to me is I ended up seeing two girls that I went to middle school with, and they both had caught my attention because in the dream I was an adult, and these two girls that I saw from middle school, they had caught my attention simply because they looked the exact same way as they did in middle school. They looked like they were still kids, but they weren't. They had the same middle school hairstyle and everything, and I was just looking at them like, wow, they look the exact same from middle school. So after I had woke up, I remembered the dream, but I actually have forgotten who one of the girls was because that memory went away. But the one girl who I did remember, that was still fresh in my mind, but as I went throughout my day, I disregarded the dream because to me it was just a dream. So later on that day, in the evening, I ended up going to the Dollar Tree near my house, and I'm in line, and there's a lady in front of me with a toddler, and the little toddler boy, he starts backing up into me, and as soon as he backed up into me, he took off running, and I'm like, where are you going? I didn't know the little boy, but I knew that he wasn't supposed to just be running off. So as soon as I said that, the lady in front of me, she turns around. And to my surprise, it is the same girl who I saw in my dream from that I went to middle school with, and I've not seen her in over 20 years. And so I greeted her. We actually had exchanged some words, and then afterwards when I left the store, I was just like so surprised because I wasn't expecting that to happen, especially since I haven't seen her in over 20 years. And then I just had that dream about her that morning. That was very interesting. And if you're curious, she still looked like herself, but of course she didn't look the exact same from middle school. But anyway, that dream showed me that like to pay attention to anything that catches my attention towards like the end of my dreams, because I feel like when something interesting happens towards the end of my dream, I'm seeing and I'm learning that that's typically something that I need to pay attention to or has some sort of meaning to it. So the second experience that I'm going to share is actually something that happened this morning, well today. So towards the end of my dream, because I typically have like sometimes multiple dreams in one, I have no idea what else I dreamed about throughout the entire time that I was dreaming. However, towards the end of my dream, I remember I was talking to a doctor, and this doctor was telling me that he wanted some guy that I knew to be on a heart monitor. And after the doctor told me that information, I was just so confused. Like, why is he telling me instead of telling the guy? So after the meeting with the doctor, I ended up seeing in my dream the guy who I know. However, we were with a group of people, so I was trying to like whisper to him and use hand gestures to tell him what the doctor had told me. And then right after that, the dream had ended. So when I woke up, it was fresh on my mind, and I was contemplating. I'm like, should I reach out to him and tell him, or should I just not say anything? Because there are a lot of times where I just have random dreams. Most of the time, my dreams are completely random. But that dream was so odd that it really like stood out to me. So During that time when I was like wrestling with if I should say something or not, because I didn't want to worry him if there was like actually nothing wrong. But at the same time, I was going back and forth because I'm like, what if it actually does mean something? So during that time, my throat started hurting. And for me, that typically means that I need to speak up. So I ended up sending him a text message just explaining to him what happened in the dream. But when I first reached out to him, I'm like, take this with a grain of salt because it could just be a random dream, but I'm sending this to you just in case. So I told him what happened. And at the end, I'm just like, if you have not been having any strange feelings in your chest, then you're probably fine. But if you have, then you should just go get it checked out. So, minutes after I sent him that text message, his girlfriend texts me telling me thank you for sending that to him because he's been having chest pains. And the night before, he was refusing to go to the emergency room. So, when she sent me that, I was just so surprised, like how all of those things played out. And it just showed me that I really have to trust myself a lot more than I have. I'm getting better at trusting myself, but I'm seeing now that I really need to trust myself. And I'm also learning to discern, like, if it's something that I should address or not, simply by just observing how the dreams come and things like that and what stands out. So, I just wanted to share that because that was really interesting, and I am absolutely glad that I did decide to say something because that, I believe, was really helpful for him so that he can get that situation taken care of. And also, I noticed that after I sent the message to him, my throat stopped hurting. So I also wanted to share that because that just goes to show that your body is always talking to you. And it's important for us to listen to our bodies because it's always giving us messages, and they're not verbal, but they always have some sort of meaning. So thank you so much for listening to my story, and I hope that you all have a beautiful day.